So it's nearly Valentine's, so we're going to do a nice romantic dinner of pomme dauphinoise, a nice steak from Rannachy farm, and a little bit of veggies. But first of all, we've got to get the potatoes in the oven. So it's good to do these an hour and a half before your dinner, because it's nice to cook them gently and then let them sit and relax, and then we can cut them, you'll see. So in a pot, we're putting 1 bulb of garlic, just cut it in half, throw it in. Raided the garden, we've got fresh bay leaf, some fresh rosemary, thyme. Going to put in a tub of cream. There we go. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in the cream pot to get the last bits out. And it just waters it down and allows it to simmer a bit. Now we're going to pop that on the stove on a very low heat, or as low as you can get it, and we're just going to let it brew for maybe 20 minutes, just get them flavours out of the herbs and garlic. So I'm away to do that now. Right, the tatties we're using are kerr pinks. You don't want to use a waxy potato for this because they take too long to cook, and you kind of want them to break down a little bit in the cream. So just cut a couple of slices off at the bottom, flatten it, turn it over, just give them a slice, trying to get them all sort of even so they cook at the same time. I'll go ahead and do all of those. Okay, that's them all sliced now. You can see, try to keep them all sort of the same sort of size. Now, cream's still brewing, but we're going to take the time to just season these potatoes up. So a nice good hit of fresh black pepper. A lot of people use white pepper because you don't see it in the end thing, because it's white and it's a creamy thing. The only thing is it doesn't taste as good. I like the flavour of black, but go ahead and use white if you feel happy with that. Try and avoid using the powdered stuff though. Do freshly grind it. And a really good hit of sea salt. Again, all root vegetables tend to absorb a lot of salt, so I've given that a really good whack. So I'm just going to go and get a sieve and the cream. Okay, the cream's infused with the garlic and the herbs and that. You don't want it mega strong, you just want a sort of hint of it. So we just pour that into a fine sieve. Bang. Not that you can see anything with all that stuff. There you go. So, when the steam clears, you can see I've got the seasoned potatoes, the tub of cream. I'm going to get my hand in and just give it a really good mix, because you want each slice of potato to not be uncoated. Everything's got to have a little touch of cream to it. Also, you'll notice I didn't put the potatoes in water when I sliced them, because you don't want to lose that starch. The starch helps to thicken the end dish, because the end goal here is to be able to cut it, put it on a plate, and then stack the steak on top of it. Make it nice and pretty. Okay. Now, I'm just going to pop these on the stove for just a minute or two, just to take away the cold, so it hits the oven half cooking sort of thing. The oven's preheated to 150 degrees. So I'm going to pop these on the stove now. Okay, I've slightly warmed that through. As I said, these are kerr pinks. They're a really good potato. They're so versatile. All potatoes do different things better. If I was to only buy one potato and I weren't allowed another one, I would probably choose a kerr pink, because it's a good all-round one. And it makes absolutely superb mash. Anyway, we're going to throw it in this roasting tray, or whatever oven-proof dish you want to use. The smaller the tray, the thicker the potatoes, the longer it will take to cook, but also it will be sort of a taller. It'll eat differently. this, because I want to cut a nice big circle of it and put it on the plate with the stuff on top, I'm doing it so it's quite spread out. So there you go, we put the spuds in and we're just going to flatten them down. And we're going to put them in the oven, 150, really squeeze them down. There's two ways of approaching this. You can do a really creamy one, which is sort of gooey and it's going to make you feel a little bit sick. Or this version, which is a good one if you're sort of building a steak dish. So there you go. Now that's going in the oven. If at any point you think it's getting too dry, I think it is over here. We can just add a wee splash of milk. There we go. And then that'll even out in the cooking process. Put it in the oven. After half an hour, I'm going to bring it out and squish it back down again, just to make it really flat. So there you go. They're going in the oven now, half an hour. They've been in for half an hour now, so I'm just going to take the time to really squish them down, because we want them to be kind of compacted so that we can cut them nicely to make the shape on the plate. You'll see what I mean when it comes to it. Probably better to use a cloth when touching that. Just really ram it all down. There we go. Now I'm just going to sprinkle a wee bit of milk over that. And then back in the oven for another half an hour. And then just let it all sort of compact into itself and become a solid. And then what we'll do is we'll give it one more push just before we cut it. So there you go, going back in the oven. So when it comes to the steak, we've got beautiful Rannachy steak. It's Aberdeen Angus. It's aged for 35 days, which is incredibly good. It's a great price as well. So I'm going to just prepare these up. I'm going to take them out of the packet, give them a little pat dry and season them up a bit. And I'll just quickly show you, there's the potatoes, they're ready to be cut. In another pot I've got just some lovely Savoy cabbage from the farm, just gently sitting away. I've blanched it and I'm finishing it off in butter with some black pepper and sea salt. Now I've got the steaks now. I've seasoned them up with a good amount of black pepper, obviously, good sea salt, but I've only seasoned one side for the moment. So into the pan, put in a little bit of vegetable oil and a good wodge butter. Steak loves butter. So do I. A lot. So here we go. Just going to melt this. When using butter, you don't want to get it too hot, but you do want to get a slight brown to it, what the French call noisette. It gives the food a slightly nutty flavour. So to get that, if you watch the bubbles come up, when the bubbles go down, you're ready to rock and roll. And you don't want to be rushing the steak. So, here are these beauties. I mean, look at that. Season side down into the butter. Beautiful. And I'm just going to drop some fresh thyme in there. A bit of rosemary if you've got it. Just let that kind of waft around in there. Now, I like a steak medium rare. Obviously, everyone likes a steak a different way. You cook it to how you like it. Yeah, we're not going to turn it over too soon because we want a bit of caramelisation on it. So we're just going to keep spooning over your butter, which now contains the flavour of the thyme. Or if you could smell it, smells wonderful. Okay, we're going to continue doing this for about another minute or minute and a half. Okay, we're still cooking them away. It's been about 2 minutes now. So I'm just going to flip them over, but before I do that, I'm going to take the thyme off and we're going to season this side. So as usual, a really good hit of black pepper. Beautiful. Fresh sea salt. And we just turn them over, allowing the butter to go underneath them. Look at that bad boy there. Get the butter under. Now we're going to continue basting them for, I reckon, about another 2 minutes. But look, you know, everyone likes their steak different. You do it to how you like it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that cooking, continue to baste it for about another minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay, these are standing around about 53, 52. That's sort of medium rare, or more rare than medium, but it's where I want them to be. So just give them one last baste. And we're going to take these off. Now it's really, really important, look at that you rest these steaks for at least 5 minutes. Some people say you want to rest the steak for as long as you cooked it. I wouldn't go resting it for a 3-hour cook. But anyway, look, in the pan you've got lots and lots of flavour. I've got some very finely chopped shallots here. It's about 4 of them, I suppose. Don't use your hands for that, it's stupid. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to gently cook these off and allow all the sugars to come out of them, because they're awful sweet. We're going to give them a good sprinkle of sea salt, black pepper, and we're going to let them gently cook away for probably about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay, these have sweated off nicely. What we're going to do now is just take out these bits of thyme. Like so. They've done their job, they can come out. You could stand and pick the thyme so that you don't have to pull them out at the end, but that's a lot of work. So there you go, they're out. So into this now, I'm going to put about half a glass of white wine. And we're going to just let that cook until all of that liquid has boiled away. Don't rush it, you need it all to go, otherwise it's going to make your sauce taste a bit bitter. Just getting the last bits out. So we'll have a look when it's gone. Okay, that's the wine gone. There we go. So what we're going to put in now is just some beef stock, literally an oxo cube with, say, a wine glass full of water, boiling water. Just made up some stock. And also on your plate now you'll see some juices appearing. Just tip those in as well. This is why it's really important to rest your steak, because those juices are still going crazy inside it. And if I cut that steak now, all the flavour's just going to pour out. So by resting it, we're allowing the bubbling around and the activity inside the steak to stop. So again, we're going to reduce this down, not as much as last time, because we still want a little bit of juice there. Okay, that's reduced nicely now, and we're just going to finish it off by taking a couple of knobs of butter, and we're just going to stir that through. This is going to give your sauce a rich, velvety, beautiful... We used to cook like this all the time back in the 70s and 80s. It tends not to be that popular anymore. But honestly, these old-fashioned methods, they're still, they're called classic for a reason. Can you see how that butter's just melting into it, making it sort of creamy, but not creamy, if you know what I mean. Let's have a little taste. Ah, absolutely beautiful. Okay, look, that's the sauce done. So what we're going to do now is start assembling the dish. So I'll move over to the board. To finish off, we're going to start with our lovely potatoes. Now, the bits that you don't use when you cut this out, put them in a container. They microwave, absolutely stunning, for about 2-3 days afterwards. They're really great with sausages and stuff. So I'm just pushing that down to the bottom and take a slice, get it under there, just lift it, and we're going to plop it in the middle of that plate, like so. And then the same again. Just push it down, get underneath it, lift it out, pop her on the plate. As I say, these container Nukem tomorrow, beautiful with sausages. So next onto these plates, we're going to pop a wee bit of veg. Just simple cabbage, finished in butter with plenty of seasoning. Just pop that on top of the potatoes like that. Wallop. Again now. There we go. Just try and make it a little bit flat. A little bit more on this one. There we go. Now for the star of the show, we get our sticks. I'm going to cut them into 3 pieces. I'm going to cut them at an angle like so. Beautiful. And then we're going to lay over our little mound like that. Just hold it so it sits. Grab this one. Cut it into 3 again. Lay it over. Beautiful. Then nick that bit. Oh, that's some tasty steak, that is, I tell you. Just pull him in a bit so you can see him. Now we've got our lovely sauce. We're just going to put a little over the top and then kind of come round the edges like this. Again, a little over the top, and then just get a bit on the plate. There you have it, Rannachy rump steak, beautifully gently cooked in butter, white wine, shallots, fresh herbs, beautiful creamy potatoes. I mean, what's not to love? Get up to Rannachy, get hold of some of these before they're all gone, give it a crack.